Hey everyone, it's Simone Watson, and today I want to talk about pitch wars and what I have sort of termed the mythology of pitch wars, which is to say the reputation of pitch wars versus what pitch wars actually is or was. Um, I also have to give this side note that a ton of stuff has been happening in the month of June 2022 in the writing, publishing, book community that's been a bit difficult to see, But I was going to make a video that's like catching you up on everything that's been going on in the community, but then it was just like I thought about doing that yesterday, but I was just like, I've been a bit saddened by the stuff that's been happening, so I don't feel like making a video that's like specifically focused on that. But Pitch Wars kind of has to do with some of the people that have to do with the other things that have been going on. So that might sort of come up. I don't know. We'll see. I've just been a little bit too saddened today to like really truly just deep dive into everything and yada yada. Everything that's going on. So, with that being said, I just want to talk a little bit about Pitch Wars. So, Pitch Wars was a program that ran from 2012 to 2022. And what would happen is there would be a group of mentors. You could be a mentor or you could be a mentor team. If I at some point say mentor, I kind of, I'm so tempted to say mentor because that's how you pronounce it in like Floridian, in a Floridian accent. And that's kind of that's my accent. But I've been like trying to say mentor for so long that I don't know. We'll see what happens in this video when I have to say it a bunch of times. So there are a bunch of mentors, and when you are a mentor, you pick somebody that the Pitch Wars hopefuls submit a manuscript, and then a mentor picks a writer who they like to work with, and then what happens is you help that writer with their manuscript. You help them revise for a few months, and at the end, there is a showcase, the agent showcase, which is when people's pitches are like up on this website and then agents come and request them. Um so yeah, so when I joined the online writing community, it was like late 2016. I mean, I was technically already in the online writing community, but when I started wanting to write novels specifically and started kind of getting into like, book writing Twitter, so to speak, people had mentioned Pitch Wars, and I didn't really know what it was at first. But then in early 2017, I think it was March of 2017, it was announced that Tomi Adeyemi had sold her Pitch Wars book, basically, Children of Blood and Bone. Well, the book that she had entered into Pitch Wars. She sold it for what was announced was that it was like a seven-figure book deal and also a movie deal. I think that Print Run podcast said that her book deal was $3 million and her movie deal was $1 million. So, and I think it might have been a three book deal. I don't know if I already said that. So basically, yeah, that was announced, and I feel like that really contributed to this idea that like Pitch Wars was associated with these huge, huge book deals, and like also people getting an agent super fast and people getting a ton of agent offers and yada yada yada. Which, to be fair, I mean, yeah, because those are the stories that you would hear about a lot, especially the big book deals. But you'd hear about people getting a lot of agent offers and things like that. And Tomi Adeyemi is not the only example that we have from the past few years. Um, but I would say that I think that contributed to like the idea in the mind of Pitch Wars hopefuls that maybe Pitch Wars is the way to get kind of propelled into this, you know, really huge, book deal and all these kinds of things. And whenever like whenever mentees would be announced for a new round of Pitch Wars, some people would be disappointed because they didn't get in naturally. And mentors and admins, like somebody would say like it's really about the community. And I feel like at the time when I was a hopeful, that was difficult to hear that it was about the community. I was like, because, and naturally it's difficult to hear because you're like, yeah, I know that like I love making friends and stuff, but like I wanted to get in because I want to be, we all want to be published, right? And you're like, I kind of want to do like get in and be, and so it was hard to accept the statement that it's about the community, and it was hard to accept when people would tell these stories about how they got, people, some people get into pitch wars and they don't get an agent immediately, or they don't get a ton of requests, and that doesn't mean they're not going to get an agent. That just means that they didn't get one in, you know so super fast. That doesn't mean they're not going to get a book deal. That just maybe means that they didn't get one super fast, or et cetera, et cetera. And basically it was like I knew this on a level that pitch wars is not a guarantee, and not everyone who gets into pitch wars has those huge success stories, and that really working on your craft and having a community, both of these things are like super super valuable. I didn't Let me say, when I became a mentor, because I mentored in pitch wars in the final season, but we didn't know it was the final season, so I mentored in pitch wars in 2021 to 22, and then like right after that round ended, everyone found out that pitch wars was going to end. So when I became a mentor, that's when I came to truly understand why it is not a guarantee. And that's because when you become a mentor, you have this realization that is kind of happy and sad and freeing, but also sobering, which is, as a mentor, you cannot guarantee that your mentee will have all of these typical external measures of success. What I mean by that is, if you used to be a Pitch Wars hopeful and you thought that Pitch Wars was magic, not that anyone literally thought it was magic, but you thought that like, oh, boom, once you get that, boom, you're like, that's a guarantee to like this huge, stardom kind of path. Once you become a mentor, you understand that you don't have control over certain things. You're a human, and like you're trying to help your mentee to get an agent, but you understand that like also so many other factors go into whether your mentee gets an agent, and when your mentee gets an agent, and whether your mentee gets a bunch of requests. Like, so many factors go into that that are not really in your control. And so as a mentor, you now know that like, oh wow, this, now I get why this program is not a guarantee, because I don't have the power to guarantee anything as far as like getting an agent. What you do have the ability to do as a mentor is something that is super 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 valuable, and I am not in any way discounting mentorship. What you have the opportunity to do is help that person and encourage that person. You can help them improve their craft. So that's where it does come in, that you're like, it is about the community, because yes, you're helping them improve their craft, but you're you're kind of becoming a part of their community, and they're becoming community with their fellow mentees and stuff like that. And so it's really awesome. And now, like, as a mentor, it was like, finally I get it. It is about the community. People are not just saying this. They're not just saying this to be like, oh, it's about the community. Like, it is about the community. That's actually how it is. And so like I said, it's a sobering realization too, though, because as a mentor, you're like, I just want good things for this person that I've chosen as my mentee. I see so much potential in this manuscript. And if I could be like, boom, I'm picking this manuscript and I know that this person is going to get an agent really fast, yada, yada, yada. Some part of you may be like, I kind of wish I could guarantee that. But now, something that has just recently occurred to me is, it's really not, in the grand scheme of things, it's not all about who gets a book deal fast. Not everything is about getting your publishing goals quickly. Okay? I'm saying that because it might sound kind of biased coming from me because, in the interest of full disclosure, I have been querying for 19 months. I was querying before I was a Pitchworth mentor. I am still querying. So you might be like, oh, that's why you're saying that it's not about getting where you want to get quickly. Yeah, that's a part of it. But it's also like, I've realized that there's a difference between making a writer be an author, which would mean helping them get a book deal, versus helping them to be prepared for being an author and what comes with that. And I think that mentorship maybe is more valuable for how it prepares you. No, not just think. I'm pretty sure that mentorship is valuable for how it prepares you. And the thing is, Pitch Wars really was very helpful for a lot of people, and I'm very glad that Pitch Wars existed. It truly, I don't think, was suited for every single person's manuscript, because a lot of people entered Pitch Wars, didn't get in, and boom, they got to their goal of being a published author a different way. There are a lot of reasons why different publishing paths work for different people. Some revisions are gonna take longer than 3 months. Seriously. When I revised 17 letters before querying, it took way longer than 3 months. But you know what? During that time, maybe it's also true that I was becoming more ready to be an author. Some people, like, just because someone can quickly get a book deal doesn't necessarily mean that they are like super prepared for everything that comes with being an author and being on deadline and having to revise really fast and all of those like things. And like, I don't know. So I think that mentorship is important, and I believe mentorship, well, no, I know that mentorship is continuing because there are other mentorship programs. And I think that the good that Pitch Wars did has lasting effects. It is having lasting effects because the people that got helped by Pitch Wars, because I'm not saying that it didn't help those people to get an agent, get a book deal, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was helpful to a lot of people. But I would say if you did do Pitch Wars and you got a mentor and you didn't get a ton of agent offers, or you didn't get this, and those external markers of success, like, but you did, get stronger in your writing. That's really, really, really super, super valuable. And it's why I am glad that mentorship is continuing, and I want to see mentorship continue. And what the question that I've been asking myself is, I don't know. I guess I've been asking myself how we as a community can balance our focus on improving craft and our focus on community, and also our focus on, for those of us who want to be traditionally published, on reaching those goals. Because sometimes I have felt like, as a querying author, if I think so much about querying and I'm just thinking about like, oh my gosh, I gotta like do this pitch contest, I gotta do this pitch event, I have to do this and I have to do this. Like, I tried to be like, I am going to focus on the writing and I'm going to focus on the joy of the writing, and I'm not gonna let querying get me down. But like, to be honest, like, that's hard. And that's been hard, especially in 2020 through early 2022, because oh my gosh, y'all, we're 2.5 years into this decade. We are one quarter of the way. We're about to be one quarter of the way through this decade. The first quarter of this decade has, as we all know, a lot of things have changed in the world, and in like the writing part of the world, and in specifically the querying part of the world. Querying has been really hard. And I guess it's like, even though we know with things like Pitch Wars, we know it's about the community, you're still gonna feel feelings. You're still gonna feel feelings, and that is completely natural. It is completely natural for you as a writer to feel this kind of dichotomy of like, you know what? I'm sad about querying, or I'm sad about the publishing industry. I'm sad about rejection, and I also love writing, and I also love improving my craft, and I also see the value in these things. And so I guess it's like, for me, it's like, okay, like now there are other mentorship programs, and there are going to continue to be other mentorship programs, and it's just like, it's tough because even on like a micro level of like myself, where when I first started querying, I was like, I am going to write something new. I'm going to focus on the writing, and I'm going to be happy about the writing, and I'm not even going to think about querying. But as querying has gone on for a longer time, that has gotten more challenging. And so I guess my thought is, you know, applause to those who are continuing to do mentorship in this community. And I don't have an answer to all of these questions, as far as like, how to continue to build community, but also how to keep the morale. That's the big thing. How to keep the morale of the community up in this time where a lot of people have been querying, and a lot of people have been having problems with querying. And I know that querying is not the entirety of the experience, but for some of us, it's presented a challenge. That's all I'm saying. And I know that it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing. That dichotomy is kind of the same as that dichotomy that existed in Pitch Wars. Is dichotomy the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. But like that kind of like duality of like, I'm happy, I'm writing, I'm improving my craft, I'm with the community, but I also really want to get published. And so now that we know that there are things about the publishing industry that need to change too, and there are things that are not there, and and it's just, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. I All of the things that I like, basically, I really love this community. Had to retie the scarf, but I love this community. I love when we are able to help one another, and when we're able to build community and make friends. And I think that it can be hard at times, seeing the way that publishing is, and certain prejudices and things like that. That's another thing that has made it challenging to go on at times. But I would just love to hear from y'all, what your thoughts are on everything, but more so just like, what are your thoughts on you know, keeping the morale up in the writing community? I almost said writing in the writing community. But thank you so much for watching. In my next video, pretty sure that we're gonna talk about Camp NaNoWriMo. So that'll be fun. Oh yeah, another way to build community, Camp NaNoWriMo. See, it's just great. All right. So yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Bye.